Hi and welcome to yet another MRTV live stream. I'm here with SweViver, Martin SweViver. Martin, how are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. Well, we have just done the Facebook F8 stream together, and then something really interesting happened. Like 5 minutes before Mark Zuckerberg went on stage, Valve, the crazy guys at Valve, they released all the Valve index information, right? That was super
Yep.
exciting. And in this show, in this live show, we're going to talk about the Valve index. We're going to look at all the specifications, and basically, we're going to tell you everything that you need to know with 2E or 3, who knows? Anyways, that's going to be very exciting. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this show. So,
Are we really live, by
we
the
are
way?
live, yeah, we are live, but there's nobody watching, unfortunately. But I think no,
But
there's
I cannot see the stream even.
yeah, I can see the
That's a pro
stream. Yeah, we're
but
live. We are live.
is it really public? Because I cannot even find it.
Uh, yeah, it's block block. No, we are live. I think. Yeah, that's if we are live. Please, somebody says yes. You guys are live. I can see. I can see.
Oh,
I can
cool.
totally see myself. Can you see? Can you see yourself now?
I don't see the stream at all. But yeah, who cares? I mean, as long as the others can
No,
see
no,
us.
now
So
they can see us. Yes, they can see
cool.
us. We are live, guys. Perfect. We are live. Perfect. Yeah. So that was quite exciting, right? When we were like doing the live stream, and yeah, then 5 minutes before Mark Zuckerberg went on stage, they came out with that Valve Index news. So let's go
Yeah.
over everything we know so far. So for that to happen, why don't I go to the main page? Here it is. And now we can have a look together. First of all, why don't we look at the prices? So if you want to have the full Valve Index VR kit, by the way, if you don't know yet, what is the Valve Index? The Valve Index is a new headset made by Valve. So that's important to know. So you can pre-order now, it says, but actually no. But for the full Valve Index kit, which is the Valve Index headset, together with the Valve Index controllers, formerly known as Knuckles, and two base stations. This is going to set you back in Europe 1,079 euros, and in the United States of America $999. This is for the full kit. If you
Yep.
don't need the base stations, if you already have the base stations from the Vive or the Vive Pro, and it doesn't matter if you have the base stations 1.0 or the base stations 2.0, both are going to work if you already have that, and if you only need the Valve Index headset and the Valve Index controllers, formerly known as Knuckles, then it's going to set you back 799 euros. And for the US dollar price, I don't know, probably $799. If somebody from the US could confirm that it costs
Most likely.
$799, it would be very nice if you could tell us in the chat if the US dollar price actually really is $799 or probably 749. We don't know. Well, it would be great if somebody
Exciting, exciting.
very exciting and very cool, I think, in my opinion. If you already have the base stations, okay, it's 750 in the US. Okay, if you want the headsets and the Knuckles, it's 750 in the US. Okay, not bad. If you want the headset only in Europe, it's going to set you back 539 euros, and in the United States of America, it's going to be
Yeah.
$499, and that is pretty cool, right? If you only
Hmm.
want the headset. But yeah, what do you think,
That's a
Martin? What do you think about the
that's a
pricing?
The prices was just as I expected. Actually, I was expecting the full bundle to be around $1,000 or 1,000
Yeah,
euro. Uh, I think that most people who order the Valve Index will probably also order the Knuckles, of course, because that's one of the main parts here.
right.
So, but yeah, but I am actually really surprised. I had no idea about this, that the Valve Index supports all base stations,
That's cool,
which
right?
is yeah, it's really cool, and that means that I will also skip the base stations from Valve. I think it's just like not necessary. 300 euro
Yeah, right. It's too
was
expensive.
it? Yeah. It's just not necessary. I'm gonna get my Pimax base stations anyway. So if you have like base stations 1.0, you don't have to buy any new ones. That's really
it's perfect
that's
news.
a game changer for
It's
a lot of
perfect
people,
news.
I think.
It's really good news. So actually, if you have any lighthouses, no matter if you have the 1.0 ones from the Vive or if you have the 2.0 ones from from the Vive Pro, or in the very near future the Pimax ones, which are 2.0, you're good. You're good to go, and you can just buy the Knuckles controllers and the headset. Which what you are going to do that, right? You're going to spend like 7.99 in euros, and you're going to get that kind of set. And probably
I think the
probably
price.
same.
I think the price for the Knuckles is still quite okay. I mean, 300 euro. It's a lot of money, but it's
kind
still
of expensive.
the Knuckles.
Oh yeah, they're the Knuckles, but I have the feeling that probably our friends at Pimax are going to use that as like a great way to totally undercut them with their own controllers, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I have a good. I have
surprised.
the feeling that Pimax will have something exciting in store. And with the 299 euro Knuckles, I must honestly tell you, Martin, I think it's a bit too expensive. Well, I know. Well, I have them, right? I like them. They are really great, but they are not so ergonomically amazing, in my personal opinion. I think they could have done a better job in how they feel. I mean, you also tried them, right?
Let me tell you a few things about. Okay, I've only tried the Knuckles once, and that was when we were at Xtal in Prague.
Right.
I spent a full day with them just playing around.
Right.
I mean, at first they are very comfortable to wear, of course. They just feels nice. They feel quality.
Right.
The problem comes first off. The thumbstick. I feel the thumbstick is just misplaced in some way. For my thumbs, whenever position I put, because you have like 4 positions you can put the strap, right? Yes. You pull it or put it inside, and then you can just like change the position, so you can have like more headroom.
Actually,
for the.
That kind of helped me personally.
I tried every single position, and I just couldn't. It was just frustrating with the thumbstick. I'm not sure if I did it wrong, but I really tried, and it just felt a little bit wrong.
Right.
Also, I feel that the touchpad was misplaced on the because I accidentally touched it a lot.
Okay.
I mean, it's placed between the buttons and the thumbstick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this means that it's really easy to actually touch it sometimes. And it's not always a good thing.
Right.
More about the touchpad is that it was kind of useless in Steam VR home dashboard when like browsing through games, for example. It just didn't work. I'm sure they're gonna fix that. I'm sure they're gonna somehow sort it out. But I really tried to like scroll through games, and it was just like jumping around all the time. Okay. And it was the same thing in the Steam in the Skyrim VR menus. Also, when I tried to like scroll around, it was just impossible. So yeah, it's weird.
299.
I think there's a lot of things to optimize with the Knuckles.
Yeah.
And what I don't like the most with the Knuckles, okay, now it really sounds like they're like
actually the Knuckles are pretty amazing. So in general, amazing. Right? Yeah.
But there are some minor things that I just don't like about them, and the biggest problem for me is the trigger button.
Okay.
Because the trigger button, when you press the trigger, I'm not sure how you're pressing the trigger. Let me just grip
like normal
Vive controller, okay? When I hold my Vive controller, I'm pulling the trigger with this. I hope you can see this.
Yeah, I see it.
With this part of my finger. Okay. I don't hold my finger like this.
Oh yeah, me neither. Yeah.
It just feels like I'm using this part of the finger instead of this part of the thing while pulling the trigger. And it doesn't matter how I hold the controller. It's just gonna be something like that on the trigger, and it just feels so wrong. It's like I don't have any feeling for pushing the trigger this way. Of course I can push the trigger, but if I just want to half push or something, it's like this. No, I don't know. It's no. I
get it. I got what you mean. So I also agree with you in terms of the ergonomics of the Valve Knuckles, of the Valve Index controllers. I think they could have done a better job. And I spoke with a few people who also agree with that. So yeah, you will get used to it, and it's still an amazing. They are amazing, but 299 euros. I don't even know what is the US dollar price, but 299 euros. It seems to be on the very expensive part. Oh, $279. Okay, it's a bit better, but it's still expensive.
Well, it's kind of the same price.
Around, yeah.
Almost. Of course, euro is a little bit higher.
Yeah, right. We of course will pay more, anyways. Yes, we always pay more. Yeah. But we have universal healthcare.
But you don't pay more when you buy from Pimax. Actually, I mean, everything is in dollars, right?
Right. Yeah, that's true. It's always the same pricing. It's the same pricing. Right. So, right. So, but anyways, let's keep on talking about the Valve Index. I think people want to know much more about the headset itself. So let's have a look now. Let's go and let's have a look at the
specifications.
The specs. Right? Let's go through the specs. So probably you can see it.
Yeah, I can. Here, I see the technical specifications. It's on the lower side.
Yeah, I know. Let's go. How about we go? I'm not sure if you can see it. Like I'm on this website where they have the beautiful pictures of the headset, and I'll go.
Just go all the way to the bottom.
All right.
It's just.
But I think we can start here with the screens because they show them very nicely, and we can talk about it. They are LCD screens. They are 1440 times 1600 pixels RGB LCD screens. So all right, so it is the same resolution like Oculus Quest and Vive Pro and Samsung Odyssey, but it's RGB stripe matrix, which will give us more pixels. So basically we'll have what they say they have like 50% more subpixels than OLED, resulting in greater sharpness for the same rendering cost. All right, so it means the picture is probably going to look better than what we see with the Oculus Quest. Yeah, okay, of course, but also better than the Rift S. However, it is also LCD. So I want to know now from you, dear Martin, what do you think of this? That it's an LCD panel.
Did you ask me?
Yeah, I ask you. What is your opinion? Are you like sad that it's an LCD panel, or is it fine for you because they can achieve like better low persistence values and all these kind of things? Tell me, what is your thought about LCD?
I know the limitations of OLED panels, of course. The Pantile pixel matrix, it's never going to be the same as RGB.
Yeah, StarVR had an OLED one with RGB, which was the best. But
and I was actually expecting that from the Valve.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's supposed to be the high-end headset, and it's a little bit of a disappointment. Even though I'm not going to complain about LCD panels in general. I mean, of course, if I compare them side by side, once you get used to the OLEDs, it's a little bit difficult to go to LCD like straight away, especially in dark games. But I would say that the screen door effect is still a more important factor to people. And if RGB can achieve that, then I'm okay with that. It's very strange though, because I must add this, because everyone was so freaking against LCD panels.
Right.
Like last year when Pimax announced them, for example, it was like, no, LCD, who's using LCD? LCDs are dead. Nobody's going to use LCD. No. Then we suddenly got the Oculus Go, which was out LCD. And people were like, hey, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. Exactly right.
and then suddenly we see the Oculus Rift S having it, now the Valve Index, and
I mean, what's the happening? HP Reverb and the Acer Oho Concept D and all the headsets have it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like once you get used to the LCD blacks, you're gonna get used to them. It's not gonna be a problem. It's so sure. I mean, it's hilarious that we actually went this path, going from the pure blacks to the RGB. Or the LCD panels, but still, it's not a deal breaker. I don't think it's a deal breaker.
I also don't think it's a deal breaker, and I must say there are big differences between LCD panels, right? Like for example, of course. The LCD panel from the Rift S and from the Oculus Go. Actually, the black values are not so bad. Like they look better than the blacks of the Windows Mixed Reality headsets, for example. So there are different kind of LCD panels. So probably I don't know what they made here.
Also, you can make so much with the software itself. Look at Pimax, what they did with the brightness adjustment and contrast adjustment. It looks so much better now, just by lowering down the brightness, like 2 levels, hiring up the contrast a little bit, or increasing the contrast.
Right.
And it just looked like a new headset inside the 5K and the 8K.
So exactly.
So yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's not a deal breaker, especially definitely not for me.
The thing is, we have to see it first. So I'm very confident that Valve actually did a great job, and they are also enthusiasts, and they know that you and me, we're going to check it with the black values, right? They know that we're going to check that. so they made sure that hopefully the black values won't be too bad. Anyways, let's keep on looking on the website. Let me just check what else there is to see. So high fidelity visuals, higher frame rates. So this is interesting. This is really interesting. So next to not having any screen door effect anymore, they also say they have 120 hertz with full back compatibility to 90 hertz, as well as an experimental 144 hertz mode. Wow, so until now we were told like 90 hertz and you're good. Now suddenly we have 120 hertz. We also see that on the PlayStation VR actually for some games, but they even have 144 hertz mode, and they say higher frame rates improve realism and optical comfort, allowing longer and more comfortable play sessions. Martin, what is your take on the 144 modes? And tell us about it.
I know a lot of people are going to kill me now, but I don't like the idea of 120 hertz.
You don't like the idea?
No, I don't like it.
Why?
Because
it's too high for
we
you?
don't have the PC power for that anyway. Okay. There's hardly any game we're going to be able to run in 120 hertz. Of course, if they can make some kind of brain warp, motion reprojection, whatever that really works like wonders, and you can play the games in 60 or 90 hertz or something, and then it's doubles or at least adds 50 frames extra. Sure, I mean, a higher refresh rate, I mean, it's not bad. But the problem is we can rarely find a game that can run in much more above 90 frames per second as of right now. I mean, it's still, of course, the panels are smaller than on the Pimax, so it's not going to require the same bandwidth and not the same amount of data and amount of pixels rendered.
Yeah.
But still, it's a lot for today's GPUs.
Right.
I'm struggling with my RTX 2080 Ti overclocked to the max. I'm struggling in so many games.
Right, but probably if you're not running the Pimax, let's say if you're running your Samsung Odyssey, which has the same resolution like the Valve Index. What are the maximum frame rates that you can get right now? Do you have it out of your head right now? Can you reach something with 120 with anything?
To be honest, I'm not playing on the Samsung Odyssey much right now.
Okay. But it's good for the future.
But of course, I mean, it all depends on the game. If you're going to play simpler games, of course, you can probably reach up to 150 frames per second, even those 144 that Valve has like an option, 144 hertz. But I mean, let's say a game like Hellblade 2, it's like you barely can hit those 90 frames per second, especially when you start to super sample. And most games doesn't look good until you start to super sample, even on 40p screens.
Right.
So you're not really rendering that 40p anyway.
Yeah, probably it's going to be some really simple games like Beat Saber, and then motion smoothing turned up to the maximum where you can reach that value, right? And probably that's going to be amazing then for those Beat Saber players who suddenly see everything even faster. I agree with you. At the moment, it's probably not really needed. It's like a gimmick that they threw in because the panels are so good. So yes, they can do it. But it's really not so relevant for you and me and for most of us. Well, I have a 1080 Ti. What am I to say? I'm going to use the 120 hertz mode. So for me, that is more a gimmick. So I agree with you. Yeah.
You know what? Valve has a very large base of hardcore gamers, right? And I think they're trying to reach them in a way. There's so much talk about those 144 hertz. I mean, no real pancake gamer. I mean, gamers who play on the monitor, they're never playing in 60 hertz or even 80 or 100.
Okay.
They want 144 hertz. They have 165 hertz. They have 240 hertz. Even it's like an endless race of the maximum hertz you can get. And I think they're trying to attract a certain audience for this headset, just because of especially because of that 144 hertz they're even adding in the specifications. And I'm not going to argue here, because I know, I mean, there are some very skilled first-person shooter players, like they're, people who are living off it, like professionals. And of course, if they see a huge difference between 120 and 144, or even 90 and 144, sure, I mean, that's fine. If they can benefit from it, that's fine.
Yeah, it's for the future.
Personally, I don't see that. I don't see any difference between 80 and 90 even.
Right.
I feel like, for me, it's just like a marketing thing, just to bring in some hardcore gamers, and that's good. I mean, it is good, because the hardcore gamers right now, those are the ones that kind of deny VR. They kind of like pretend that VR doesn't even exist. It's like shitty resolution. It's shitty 80 hertz. Oh my God, who can play in 80 hertz? And and give them 144 and they'll probably be happy now.
Right.
So yeah.
But you know what? I'm wondering. We have this high panel refresh rate here right now, right? So the panel itself, it can refresh like 144 times per second, while probably the frames per second will not be there from the computer. It cannot render it, but still the panel itself might refresh at these high refresh rates, and probably that's still going to look better somehow, more relaxing to the eye. Who knows, right? So that's something that we will have to find out once we get our hands on the device.
The good thing about 144 hertz is that you can multiply 72 hertz into it two times, and 72 hertz is still, I mean, it's fully acceptable frame rate for running VR.
Okay.
When I'm trying games with the 72 hertz on the Pimax, for example, seriously, I have no problems at all with that resolution or that refresh rate.
Right.
So if they can double that only to 120 panels or 144 hertz mode. Sure, I mean, that's just benefiting it. There's nothing wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong.
No,
it's definitely not wrong.
It's good that they have it, and it's more future-proofing the device, right? And at the moment, probably more for marketing, but anyways, it's not a bad thing. Let's go to the next.
I just want to add that I would prefer to see a higher resolution per panel, and just 90 or even 80 hertz. I think that would make take this headset to another level, because the resolution is. I was hoping for more, actually, especially while HP Reverb is coming with stuff. Especially we know that the Pimax 8KX is coming sooner or later. There's going to be a lot of headsets reaching for that 4K per eye now, which people want.
Got it.
And even though if you're not playing games in 4K, which is of course very demanding, you can at least get rid of the screen door effect in a better way.
That's pretty good. That's really cool. Exactly. Totally agreed. Okay, cool. So let's look at the next thing here, and extremely low persistence. So they have changed the persistence now down to 0.33 milliseconds, and overall this is a 5 times improvement over the first generation PC VR headsets, which means that the imagery is going to remain as sharp when your head is in motion as when you're standing still. So extremely low persistence, and that's also thanks to the LCD panels. That's something that is easier to achieve with LCD panels as opposed to OLED panels. So probably we're really going into this direction, right? With LCD, where the persistence is just so low, and you got this RGB stripe matrix. Well, that is definitely good. That the picture is going to look even better, and there's no smearing at all, right?
No, I think if you just try on a monitor in 90 hertz and 120 hertz in very fast movements, or 144 hertz for that matter, you're gonna see that the image is gonna be more stable. It's gonna be less smudge, in very fast movements.
Right.
So I think this could improve a lot for first-person shooters, especially in VR.
It's going to look good. Probably it's going to look good.
Probably, yeah. But I think that
Yeah.
most people are not going to even notice the difference. I think that's. I mean, people are not noticing the difference between 60 and 120 hertz. That's weird
That's
to me
right.
because I can clearly see that
Yeah.
on the monitor at least.
Right.
I don't mean all people, but some people do. So yeah, but it's fine. I mean, it's good. It sounds promising.
It sounds promising.
The refresh rate and the resolution.
Great. So now let's go to the next big topic here. And the next big topic, of course, is the FOV. And they say, see more than before. Fine-tuned lenses offer the sharpest, widest view across the eye's full range travel. So they say optimized FOV. And if you read the thing, if you go down, it says, this headset provides 20% more FOV than the HTC Vive for typical users. So probably they mean like, all right, the HTC Vive, it has like 110 degrees diagonally, and now we're going to have like 130, or are they? Or do you think it's about horizontal, and instead of 100 degrees horizontal, it's now 120 degrees horizontal? Martin, what is your take on this thing?
Honestly, I hope it's horizontal.
Me too, man. Me too.
Field of view
Exactly.
they're talking about.
Totally agree.
Because the diagonal 20 degrees would be maybe something like 12 degrees horizontally, or maybe like 14. Maybe I don't know it exactly. It's very difficult to measure the diagonals.
Pythagoras, or what's the name of this guy? Pythagoras.
Yeah, but it's not really.
I know.
It's not really the case.
I know because it's exactly, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. It's a different way of looking.
Right. It's very complicated.
Yeah. So yeah, that's actually the only big disappointment to me. I was expecting something more here. I was expecting like 140, maybe even more. In this term, it's not super exciting.
Right. Yeah. Okay. We are like the spoiled Pimax users, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we use the Pimax like as our day-to-day headsets, and we're freaking used to wide FOVs. But probably for the people who are like just using like the Rift or the Vive or the Vive Pro or the Samsung Odyssey, they will be happy to suddenly have 20 degrees more.
Sure. And in the end, the thing is that the more further you go with the field of view, the less you're gonna notice the field of view difference. I mean, going from 150 to 170 is quite a small difference on Pimax, and yeah, I mean, after all, if I turn on the 120 degrees on Pimax, it's still way better than the Vive and the Samsung Odyssey, for example. So yeah, it's an increasement, and that's great. I mean, that's lovely that at least one company besides Pimax is doing this. They're thinking about the field of view. It's
right.
Oculus should have done that a long time ago, I think, and Vive.
Right, I agree. I'm just laughing because Adam Matic in the chats. Hi Adam, good to see you here. Says like peasants like us who only have like the normal field of view headsets. No man.
No. The thing here is,
don't mean it like that.
The thing here is that I think, of course, you're not missing out if you never tried it. Okay, if you never tried something, you're never gonna miss it out.
Like the peasants, like the 110-degree peasants.
Like everything. I mean, yeah. But once you realize the possibilities with a wider field of view, then it's very hard to like go back a step again. And this is like going back a step.
You're right. Yeah, for us, for the few illuminated people who have seen the light, the field of view light, it's a step back for us. Yeah. Right.
And I assume at least that they're gonna have like no distortion at all because they're
wait a moment. We have a YouTube video now. Somebody thank you Recycled for sending over €5, and we're going to watch a video now that Recycled.
My name's Scott Bradford. I'm 19. Cool. I'm gonna be 20 like December.
That was actually really funny. Yeah. So if you want to send over your video, you can still do it by sending over €5 and by using the TipeeeStream link in the description below. So that's still working, as we saw. Thank you, Recycled, and Hype.
Thanks,
yes,
man.
Hype. That was an amazing video, though. Yeah. So yeah, right. So 120 degrees probably horizontal, and then probably that actually does translate to 135 degrees diagonally, what we heard.
Yep.
So I believe that this 135 degree leak, it was true for the diagonal, and we're going to see 120 degrees horizontal. How much degrees horizontal do we see with the Pimax on the normal setting? What is it, 150?
150 around.
150, right?
155
Okay.
maybe. But it's around 150. Yeah.
That is
some see more, some see less.
Yeah, that is a difference. That is a difference. So yeah.
It
Anyways,
is a difference.
probably it's going to be still pretty amazing to see that for the peasants, for the 110 degree peasants who have never seen the the wide field of view before. So that should be pretty amazing. And to have that bumped up. But I must agree with you. I would have hoped for a bit more. I would really have hoped for more. But yeah, they seem to not try to compete with Pimax on that because they probably are afraid of the distortions. But Pimax actually they deleted the distortions. I don't see distortions anymore in the new software update. What about you? Do you see distortions?
You know, the thing is that I keep reading people saying that it looks so bad on the Pimax. I really don't get it because it's just getting better and better for every update. They keep me getting surprised for every update. It's like, whoa, okay, I think they couldn't do better than this. They're just really doing big stuff right now, and it will never be totally distortion free, of course.
But it's I really cannot see the distortion anymore, Martin. I really can't see it.
No, and the thing is that the fundamental thing a lot of people do wrong is that they put the headset wrong and they have like too much space between the. There's so many factors that can screw your view.
Yeah, it's not easy.
In a wide field of view, it's really important that you know how to put on the headset.
Right.
Once you put it there, it's not going to move. But I'm just saying that try to adjust it a little bit, and you'll see that the distortion kind of like disappears.
Right. Anyways, let's keep on talking.
It's no magic.
Let's go over to the index again. So dual element lens. So they have made some new lenses which will help. Let me read this. The custom lenses built into the Valve Index headset maximize the field of view without sacrificing edge-to-edge clarity. High geometric stability allows you to look around the scene by moving your eyes, not just your head, with minimal shape distortion. All right, that sounds amazing. It sounds like even if you look into the edge clarity is still going to be there. And, well, that is a problem of the Pimax, right? If you look into the edges, it's not as clear as, for example, the X-Tal, right? With the X-Tal, if you look into the edges, it's very clear. But... So hopefully these cool dual element lenses are going to help with that. And
let me just squeeze in one thing.
Okay,
they're still Fresnel lenses, you know that, right?
Yeah, well, that of course sucks, but what can we do? I mean, they could have probably it's going to be too expensive to make those aspheric lenses like in the X-Tal. So and it's going to be too heavy and too big, right? Probably that they didn't want to do that. It seems like that this device is not huge. It looks not big, the index.
No, it's small, yeah.
So probably that's why they had to go for the Fresnel lenses, and we have to check out if we see God rays and if they are better than the Vive Pro and the Vive, right? Because they also have the same lenses, very similar lenses.
But I wonder if there is a spherical lens underneath or inside. The second lens inside, is that an spherical lens or not? Because that could actually make a difference.
I don't know, man. It says dual element, so probably it's still one lens, but it's made of two elements. We don't know, and probably we're going to hear more tomorrow. So, and then the next thing it says canted optics. Instead of a mount perpendicular to the user's eyes, the headset displays cant outwards by 5 degrees. This improves outer FOV while balancing inner FOV. So they are slightly canted. Yeah, I think they simply just do it to reach the higher FOV, and that makes sense. Yeah. Anyways,
can I just squeeze in one thing? Art Armin is asking when is the X-Tal consumer version going to be announced? Well, we don't know anything there yet, and we cannot talk about it either. So
we don't know anything, and we can't talk about it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish we knew more.
Right. So let's go to the next thing, and that is now we're going to talk about the headset. Now that is really interesting. That is really, really interesting. When we saw the first pictures of the headset, I was like, what the friggin' fuck? Why are they made out of plastic? It's gonna hurt you. It's gonna hurt your ears. Why didn't they use some soft foam? like all the other headsets. But now it turns out that these headphones are not meant to touch your ears. They are meant to hover over your ears, just as you can see here in this picture. And that is pretty interesting. And they made this, so first of all, you have off-ear immersion, they say. Let me read this out. Designed to provide a more natural way to experience audio, the Valve Index speakers do not touch the ears, so the sound interacts with the geometry of the outer ear and the head. With off-ear immersion, audio feels like it comes from the environment around you rather than from the inside of your head. Wow, that is actually super interesting. Also, you have long session comfort, as they say. No physical contact means cooler temperatures and a huge improvement in comfort, no matter how long you play. Each speaker's position is also adjustable and can be moved to the audio sweet spot for all heads. Wow, now I truly think this is super interesting, but I want to hear from SweViver. What's your take on that?
I'm trying to understand how the bass is going to be transferred to your ear, because the bass is quite important, I would say.
All right, yeah, and you agree with this.
To be honest, this looks really cool. It sounds exciting. It's going to be really exciting to hear, because the Oculus Go speakers, for example, they're not in the same way, but you're still not covering your ears, and you just hear it. And that was quite impressive.
It was pretty good. Yeah, I also liked it. Not in terms of the bass, but in general for the mids and the highs, it's good.
Yeah, but the bass, that's the problem. And there's one thing, it's the bass. I want like a pure bass when something is exploding, or so. I want to feel like the explosion. And also another thing, when I'm playing, like, let's say horror games, when I really want to have like a quiet environment and I have my computer in here and I maybe turn off the fans a little bit, I don't want to hear those fans. I don't want to hear my girlfriend sitting in the next room talking in her phone.
I got it.
I want to like close myself in, like put on the headset and just disappear into the virtual reality.
You're right.
And that seems not to be possible. But the question is it possible to like take off those, or like kind of bend them away so I can put on some other headsets?
Let's have a look at the website.
Or maybe if they can make some kind of rubber covers or something, like, so we can strap them on to make them like real headsets.
They don't say anything about it, unfortunately. They don't say, but actually it would be great if you... Well, one thing you can do for sure, I suppose, you can just use in-ear headphones, right? Since the thing is only hovering above your ears.
Okay, so tested says there is a headphone jack.
Okay, that's good.
Cool.
And
thanks,
also
Shadow Ram.
And Skidrow just said that tested also said that the bass is better than Oculus Go and Rift S. So that is pretty cool then.
That's great. I have totally missed that.
Yeah, they have just uploaded it. I mean, it's just new. We can watch it later. Okay, so now next thing, comfort for everyone. So ergonomics designed for all heads and faces. So it does look comfortable. It looks like some kind it looks like some kind of super comfortable deluxe audio strap, right? And the deluxe audio strap was so good, but this one even looks better. So I
like the look of it. It looks really stylish.
Right. I really have high hopes for how it looks. Like it seems to be some cloth, right? But on the other hand, I also see this getting really wet and sweaty once you sweat a lot, and then if you want to hand this over to your girlfriend or to your wife or to your friends, it's probably not going to be very hygienic. What do you think about this part?
Yeah, I mean, I must say whatever strap you're using, you can get sweaty anyway. So it depends on.
But on some you can wipe it at least, right? But on some you can wipe it.
Yeah. That's what I never liked with the deluxe audio strap, because it was sometimes it just was too sweaty, and once it is sweaty, it's going to be sweaty for hours. It's impossible to just dry it off unless you change the pads inside. So yeah, that could be a problem, but yeah, I mean, I'm not playing Beat Saber. So.
but we're going to play Creed against each other.
Oh yeah.
So then
Yeah,
you're going
I
to
know
sweat
that.
again. Okay, let me just read what they have to say. Let's talk about the marketing speech. Adjustments for every head. You can adjust valve index for your head size, face angle, and ear position. Then fine-tune your visual experience with IPD and eye relief adjustments. Okay, that's great. Microbial fabrics. The soft surfaces that touch your head and face are made with high quality woven antimicrobial fabric, which is soft on the skin and easy to clean. Ergonomically designed padding means pressure is evenly and comfortably distributed. All right, okay. And quick swap face pads. The face gasket for this headset is replaceable with a magnetic interface for easy cleaning and swapping. Wow. So there's a magnetic interface. So it seems like we don't have anymore this, how would you call that? It makes this funny noise. You can attach it easily. Velcro. So it seems like
Velcro.
it
Yeah, I
seems
was like, what's the word?
yeah, it seems like it's not. It's not. Yeah, we're not English native speakers, as you can tell. Yeah, Velcro. It seems to be not Velcroed on, but it's like a magnetic interface. It's interesting, right? What do you think about that?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. That's a cool idea. I mean, we're about to see that in 2 months, but sure. I mean, it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, and Adam just says nobody's
Velcro wears
girlfriend
out.
or wife plays VR. That's true. Yeah, my wife doesn't play VR at all, and I think your girlfriend also doesn't, right?
She kind of refuses. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
mine too. Yeah, mine prefers.
It's so
to-
weird.
Yeah, I also don't know. Is there anybody out there whose wife or girlfriend plays VR? Please say yes in the chat. If no, please say no. And if you are a woman, say I'm a woman and I love VR.
I think actually that Voodoo DE's girlfriend is playing a lot of VR.
Oh, really? Oh, that's great.
I think Thomas said that. Yeah.
Oh, what a lucky guy this Voodoo DE is then.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Right.
Yeah, I
right.
wish I could make my girlfriend more excited about VR, but maybe it's too early yet. We'll see.
Here's
I
a
need to
woman.
find the perfect game to show her.
Moody Pie is a woman. Great. Hello, Moody Pie. Great that you're a woman and you love VR. Perfect. So, yeah, wow, we have 414 people watching this stream, my friend. Isn't that amazing? Wow, that's
amazing.
that's
But hey, look at how many guys are actually commenting on the wife. My wife is playing. My wife is playing. My wife is playing. Wow.
yeah,
that's
cool.
cool.
Wow, that's amazing. So you know what? Now let's go to the other thing. Now, designed by makers for makers, and we were wondering, hey, what is that slot there in the middle for? We've seen it on pictures, and
Yeah.
people were wondering, hey, is that some kind of way for inside-out tracking, or is that probably a slot where you put your cartridges in, your game cartridges, like for the Atari 2600, if somebody still remembers that. So I was hoping for that because I love to blow into my cartridges to make them work again, but it seems no. So instead, this is actually really an expansion slot for all the makers, for all the tinkerers who come up with some really amazing, like add-ons. And they can just be very they can just be super like creative with it. What do you think of that, Martin?
I think this is genius. This is really the cool idea. They can make hand tracking units. They can make scent units. They can make probably some extra AR cameras or whatever. I mean, it's perfect. Great idea.
Right? Great idea. So it's really made for these tinkerers in mind and to make it like as future proof as possible. So it seems like we're going to be using this device for the next couple of years for sure. Like I don't know, 3-4 years or what. It's going to be pretty interesting. So and it's.
But
like
I wonder though, is that the only expansion USB? Because there should be like one beneath or something, one above or something. Especially if you want, for example, fans like the Vive and Chill that I used for a very long time on my Vive. I mean, you have to have some kind of connector up there either way, or if not, then you're gonna have like a lot of cables just running around your headset.
Right.
So yeah, I hope that's not the only expansion slot.
Right.
Or
right.
the only USB input.
We will find out soon. Anyways, the cameras. The Valve Index HMD includes stereo, global shutter, RGB cameras made for computer vision, enabling applications like high-quality stereo pass-through. Okay, so we're going to have some interesting pass-through things. We're excited to see what the computer vision community creates. For sure, they're going to create some cool stuff. I have just had like a very cool tinkerer over at my place, Alex Grobe, a German guy from Berlin who's like experimenting with headsets and with see-through with a Z see on see pass-through thing, and he showed me like amazing stuff that can be done with this see-through stuff. So actually, like really cool augmented reality stuff can be made with these cameras. So I think we're going to see some amazing stuff.
I wonder though, I mean, we had this possibility more or less for a year now with the Vive Pro, right?
Yeah, but it was not it was not good enough. It was like, Alex told me that with the Vive Pro, the cameras, they are just not good enough. It's like the resolution is not good enough. These kind of things are not good enough. So that was not good enough.
So that explains why nobody's really using this.
Nobody's using it. Right. Yeah, that's basically, I think we have talked about everything now.
Don't you see the No Man's Sky? Look at that. Oh, man.
All right.
This is going to be cool.
Yeah, right. There it is. Nice.
Okay. Let's go to the specifications now. I know. I just got excited when I saw it.
I know. So yeah, let's look at the tech specs. So the displays, yes, we have dual 4040 by 16 LCDs, full RGB stripe matrix, ultra low persistence, global backlight illumination. We talked about that, so we don't think it's like a deal breaker. We have to see the blacks first, right? But we see like all the positive things coming out of this, like the subpixels, like no screen door effect anymore, probably, and and the low persistence. So that is good.
Well, the thing is that the screen door effect will, of course, be there. It's however you see it, is still 1440 panels, which are not full sized. Okay, well, they are not full size. You have to remember that. And they have to reach out to 130 degrees, maybe 120 degrees. So it's all about the utilizations. Can they utilize the whole panels at least?
Well, we don't know.
But even then, if you're utilizing, let's say they're utilizing like 90% of that panel, right?
Yeah.
And they're pushing every panel, like how much can it be? Around 100 or 90 degrees per panel, maybe. I mean, that's still lower resolution than the 5K Plus. If you look at the resolution itself, even if Pimax is utilizing like 60 or 70% of that panel, however, it's still low resolution.
Yeah, right. You're right. That's true. So we have to really see it. We have to see what the optics make. Probably the optics make it awesome. We don't know.
Yeah, if the optics can make wonders. We have seen that on the X-Stall. It looks just incredible, even though it's full-size, the 1440p panel. So, of course, it's full-size, much higher than this on the Valve Index. But still, screen door effect free, that's not going to happen with this headset. But hopefully, at least, it's going to be good enough, just like the Pimax 5K Plus, or I'm not sure if it's going to be better. I don't think there's potential for it to be better with that resolution. But
I must see the optics first. Let's see. Yeah. Then we're going to make our comparisons once we have the device in our studios. So let's keep on seeing if we find some other new things. Frame rate, we talked about it. Optics, okay. We have this double element canted lens design. We'll see. Field of view 20 degrees more than HTC Vive, but we don't know, is that horizontal or is it diagonal? We hope it's horizontal. IPD adjustment. Now this is important. So we have a physical IPD adjustment. Yeah, so they have pointed this out when they were like trying to make the Rift S look bad in their first shots. So this is of course really important, right? IPD adjustment is something that we want, right?
This headset would have been dead on arrival without the IPD adjustment. That's the problem. Right. Especially with the wider field of view, even though it's not much wider, but it's still wider. So yeah, it's really important with an IPD adjustment. I totally agree. This. We see that on the Pimax how important it is to really set the IPD.
Yeah. While you're gonna have problems with distortions if you set it to the wrong IPD, right?
Yeah, I mean, even cross-eye effect when you have like 3-4 millimeters off. On the HTC Vive, you could probably just like change to whatever IPD and it was still working. But with wider field of view, it's more sensitive.
Okay, got it. So let's keep on seeing if we find something else. Ergonomic adjustments. Okay, we know that. Connections. Now that's interesting. 5-meter tether, 1-meter breakaway cable, Trident connector, just like the Vive and Vive Pro. So we have USB 3.0, DisplayPort 1.2. and we have
1 to 2.
1
yeah.
to 2, and we have the 12 voltage power. So what we see here basically is exactly the same what we see on the Vive Pro, and that means that there is no changes. So there's no, we don't use the virtual link connector. We just use the same thing that happened in the Vive Pro. What do you make of this? Is that good or is that bad?
I mean, for this resolution, for this headset, I mean, they don't need to use higher than DisplayPort 1.2, even though it sounds very old. USB 3.0, sure.
It's okay, right? I mean, yeah. They just
I mean,
use what they need. It makes sense. Why would they put virtual link and tell everyone who has like a 1080 Ti, you know what, fuck yourself? Doesn't make sense. So it makes sense. It makes sense, and everybody who's watching this stream can probably just simply use it as it is right now.
Yeah, 5-meter cable is a problem, though. It's going to be for a lot of people, just like the Pimax is 5 meters. And it's not enough. The 1-meter breakaway Trident connector can help a little bit, but it's still too short for a proper VR space. So we're gonna have to extend those cables, of course. Yeah. Hopefully that's possible, which it should be. I mean, DisplayPort 1.2, it's not difficult to extend. We can extend the Pimax cables, no problem, with another 5 meters, which I'm doing here right now, by the way. And it just works. It's cheap cables, by the way. It was like 10 euro cables or something, 5 euro.
And we have like
really cheap stuff.
Milo says, Milo hopes that SweViver and Sebastian are going to compare the 5K Plus with the Index. And of course we're going to compare the headsets. Are you kidding me? Of course we're going to compare the headsets, and we're going.
That's why I buy this.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we do, right? We compare headsets on our channels. It's like at the moment it's like Christmas for us, right? Because we are the guys who are going to get all the headsets and going to compare the friggin' hell out of them. Anyways, let's see if we find some more interesting specifications that we can talk about.
One more interesting thing is, once again, the base stations 1.0. It's so important that it actually works with 1.0. Right. Myself, I'm saving 300 euros just because of that, and I'm so happy about that, because that almost pays off my Oculus Quest, and I think a lot of people watching this are also very happy about this, because for those $300, you get another headset almost. Actually, you get the Samsung Odyssey Plus for that money. So yeah, that's wonderful. Even though, I mean, sure, the Steam VR or the Steam base stations, Valve base stations 2.0 are supposed to be a little bit better, more reliable. You can add more of these. You can have 4 or 5 or whatever.
Right.
But still, most people can make it with 2 base stations. Flight simulator, racing simulator guys can have like 1 base station only, and 1.0 is more than enough. So that's great news. That I was really not expecting.
It's fantastic. It's really fantastic. So it means everyone who has a Vive at home, they only need to buy the $499 headset, and they are ready for the next generation. But probably you also want to have the Knuckles to get the full experience, right? So then it's going to be $750. But yeah, it's amazing that you don't need to buy the $300 base stations, especially since 2.0, it's not going to make a big difference in your normal room, right? If you have a huge space, then yes, but for the normal room, and like I'm using it in my living room, unfortunately, still it's going to be totally fine to use the 1.0. This is amazing. So yeah, anything more?
Really nice. I mean, those specs are not bad. They could have been better, but they're still not bad. It's good enough for most people. It's way better than the Rift S.
Yeah.
In many ways.
Yeah, of course. There's no question about it.
And of course, the Knuckles plays a big part of this. I mean, it's supposed to be some great controllers.
It is. They are. I mean, I have them, and they are really good.
I mean, yeah, sure. They're not perfect, but they are much better than these, at least. The HTC Vive controller, the ones.
Yeah. So yeah. Let's just finish it off. It's an audio. Okay, we talked about the audio. There's an auxiliary headphone out, 3.5 millimeters. Okay, and there's the microphone. It's a dual microphone array. We have seen that stuff before. Dual microphones. That's fine. And for the cameras, there's stereo 960 x 960 RGB. All right, that sounds not too bad. So now we have talked about all the specs, and So let's go to our conclusion. What do we think? Just talking about the specs. So as you said, the specs are pretty good. They are not like super enthusiast level, but they are good enough. Definitely better than the Rift S. There's absolutely no question about it, right? What is your take on that?
Better than the Rift S, better than Vive Pro. I mean, thanks to the tracking and those controllers and everything, it's of course better than the Windows Mixed Reality headsets. I don't know anything about the HP Reverb though, but this is like the second Pimax, you know. It's like like a great unit, and it's Valve making them.
Right.
So sure, I mean, this is. Yeah.
This is for enthusiasts, right? And this is for everyone who was excited about the Vive, the original Vive, right? When you like this were enthusiasts, right? The first people who bought the Vive, they got this amazing headset at that time. It's still amazing. I still like the Vive. Yeah. And I think now they finally got a real successor, right? I mean, the Vive Pro, it was an overpriced piece of, I don't want to say, but this year now, the Valve Index is definitely, it feels like the Vive Pro, what it was supposed to be. What do you think?
Seriously, who is going to buy the Vive Pro right now?
I don't know.
There's like...
Yeah, I mean, it's so overpriced right now. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It still costs 800, I think, right?
They can just like cut it off, take it off the shelves in the stores and just like scratch it.
Exactly.
So yeah, the lenses, everything was just so bad on the Vive.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people may think we hate Vive and Rift and such. It's not about the brand itself. I don't mind what brand it is. The problem is that those are the two companies that are not really caring about those early enthusiasts or those early adopters and enthusiasts. And this is why I'm so mad at Oculus, because at the same time they are bringing us some great headsets, and I mean like the Oculus Quest. Especially the Oculus Quest.
I'm excited about the Oculus Quest, really, man.
Sure. By the way, we just ordered it.
Yeah, we just ordered it.
I actually ordered the 64 gigabyte version. Yeah. I know this is not about the Oculus, but I have to add this.
Yeah, I got the 128 gigabyte. I'm crazy, I think.
But I just got some information from a YouTuber. He said that most games are actually very small. There are like 2 games that reaches 2 gigabyte in size on the Oculus Quest.
Okay, and more space for movies.
So yeah, so basically most of the games are going to be below 1 gigabyte, like half gigabyte. I think Beat Saber was like 300 megabyte in size.
Right.
So 64 gigabytes is more than enough for just casual gamers, or basically for people who play games. Right. But if you want to download a lot of VR porn, just like Sebastian, then
what?
Of course you're gonna
what
need, like,
is going on here?
Then you're gonna need 128 gigabyte.
Man, I wouldn't download it, man. I would just stream it.
Oh
like
yeah,
you.
of course.
Very funny. Yeah. Anyways, so. And let's talk about something else, man. Well, now
what I also like, I have to say, what I also like is that they're selling all the parts separate as well. That's really cool.
So you can
like that, even at launch, even on pre-orders.
That is great. You can really absolutely look for the package that you want. And the thing is, hey, $499 if you already have the base stations, if you are probably happy with the Vive ones, or probably you can wait for the Pimax controllers. Probably the Pimax controllers are going to blow us all out of the water. Right, so who knows? And probably they're going to be way cheaper as well. So yeah, you can simply get, let's say you have the Vive or you have the Vive Pro. The only thing that you need to do now is get the headset only, $499. Wait for a couple of, I don't know, days for the Pimax controllers. Yeah. Find out how expensive they are. Find out if they are good. And then you can simply buy the Pimax controllers if you don't want to like plunk down $279 for the Valve Index controllers.
Or 299 euros. That's even more. Exactly. That's like 330.
I must still say I think 299 euros for the Valve Index controllers are too expensive. Really, man. Yeah. It's just like it is.
What? It is expensive. It is. It is. I was actually expecting even higher, just because it's the Knuckles. It's I mean, everyone has been hyping those controllers for years, and so I was expecting them to be even more expensive. But yeah, sure, 300 euro is a lot. Also, there's one more thing we haven't even touched, I think, and nothing really says here. How about the delivery costs?
Oh wow, I don't know. I have no idea. So
because
we don't
because
know
the
from the
Oculus,
website. I
Oculus
don't think it says anything.
because everything that you order from Steam always costs. You know,
Oh,
if you like, do you remember when the Steam Link
yeah, I can
were
remember.
sold out for like 2 or 3 euros? You had to pay like 14 euros to get them
Oh,
a set.
okay, got it.
So,
They want you
so
to
I'm
pay
afraid.
shipping.
So I'm afraid that we're gonna have to pay like 50 euro or something, or $50 or whatever for just the shipping. It could be that bad,
Oh,
which is a bummer because it makes everything more expensive, especially if you buy it separately. In that way, maybe they could at least be nice and sell the full bundle without
yeah, because
any
it's pretty
delivery costs.
expensive. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, it's a hefty price. I mean, it's 1,079 euro.
Yeah,
That's
that's
that's like
expensive.
$1,200.
Yeah, that's freaking expensive for us at least. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
totally
And
agree.
I know, I mean, it's about the EU, I mean, the European Union and stuff. It's not about, we're not making more money than the Americans. That's not the
Yeah,
thing. It's
but we
just
have
about
universal
import
healthcare and stuff. It's
taxes.
pretty amazing.
Yeah, sure, man, but am I just saying that we're only paying for all the, the import taxes and
Right,
fees?
right,
Yeah. So that's basically on all things you buy, you have to pay that
right.
extra in Europe. But still, yeah, it's I'm surprised it's out already now.
Yeah, I mean, it was just
I was
like
not
so.
expecting it.
It was just like so surprising. 5 minutes before Mark Zuckerberg went on stage, those Valve guys. I'm sure that some of the Valve guys are now watching this stream, right? Because like, if you look for Valve Index, this is gonna come up. So Valve guys, you guys are really genius in your timing. I mean, you killed the Rift S when you just did not go to GDC and just a couple of days later announced the Valve Index, and now you kind of like took all the power out of this F8 keynote by just putting this out there 5 minutes earlier. And yeah, it's just like a stroke of genius. I think their timing with their announcements, and probably
I wish.
I believe tomorrow we're going to hear about Half-Life VR and all the software, because yeah, no, we didn't
Hopefully.
hear anything about the software, right? So they still owe us something, and I believe this is going to happen on 1st of May, tomorrow, that we're going to hear like, hey, you know what? Together with all that stuff, Half-Life VR is going to be bundled. Boom. And then
I
everything,
believe.
nobody will care anymore about the pricing.
I believe they could probably at least bundle with No Man's Sky, because they're even making an advertisement for it on
Right,
their
right. It's too obvious,
sales
right?
page.
Yeah, right.
It's too obvious. So it's probably going to be included. But then again, it's not a real VR game from the start,
Yeah, right.
which means problems, of course. And we know the story about No Man's Sky when it was released the first time on the monitor
Yeah, it
version.
was not good, right? In the
It
beginning.
was far from perfect.
But I heard that
yeah,
now
so-
it's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, no, but it's like 2 years after.
Right,
No,
right.
1 year after or something
Got
like
it.
that. It's yeah.
Right,
So I
right.
hope they're gonna bundle it together with something, or at least like something. I don't have
Something would be
any.
good.
I don't have any hopes for that Half-Life 3. That's not gonna happen. But what happened really to the Half-Life 2 VR mod?
Yeah, right.
Could this be that Valve is now working together
don't
with
know.
those developers to make that happen?
Man,
Because
I played
those
that
developers
mod.
haven't said anything.
You're right. I don't know. I played that mod with my DK2, but that was a long time ago. Man,
No, but that's not the same mod, man.
another one. Okay, got it. I got it. Yeah.
They have been working on this for like 2 years now. It's like it doesn't make any sense. So there has to be something happen.
Boneworks.
Yeah. Well,
Perhaps.
we'll see. We'll see.
Anyways, I have to cut this stream short now. Unfortunately, we've been talking for 1 hour, and unfortunately,
Cut it now.
Unfortunately,
We
yeah,
have
I know,
we
I
have
know.
like 470
I know.
people.
You know what?
listening to us.
You know what? SweViver, why don't you keep on talking about the on your own channel, on your SweViver channel? Why don't you keep on talking? Because yeah, I have another appointment later. I'm invited to the 40th birthday party of a very, very good friend, and yeah, everybody's there already, like drinking lots of beers. So I must cut this short. And
I see, I
I mean,
understand.
I know I would love to keep on talking with you for another hour. And thanks, Adam. Thank you so much for that super chat. But I cannot keep on. I need
Thanks,
to
man.
go now. I need to go to that party, and
Yeah, I
I
understand.
need to meet all my non VR friends, because most of my real life friends, they have no idea about this whole VR thing, and I'm going to tell them, you know what? Yeah. some stuff is coming out. Man,
problem.
Martin,
Hope you're gonna enjoy it.
as always, it has been such a pleasure to stream today with you. I mean, we've been streaming the F8, we've been streaming now about the index. So all of you, all of the people who are watching this right now, if you have not yet subscribed to SweViver, please do that now. SweViver is the gentleman here on the right who has
Harper says hi.
who likes pussy cats a lot. And
no, seriously, thank you guys for watching, because it's, I mean, there were so many people actually live streaming this today, especially the Oculus F8 or the Facebook F8, yeah, the whole thing. And even though we still had so many of you just
amazing.
hanging with us here talking.
Thank you so
much.
much.
We apologize that we probably have missed like 1,300 questions, but
yeah. But I think,
that's how it is when you're like trying to talk all the time.
But I think there was a very informative stream. I think people know now what's going on, and I think people know what we think now. And I think it was a very nice stream. And 464 people are still watching this, man. This is amazing. So please do subscribe to this channel if you want more information about the Valve Index. Please subscribe to SweViver. Simply look for SweViver, and you're going to find his channel and subscribe to it. It's amazing. Really one of my favorite channels, and totally subscribe to our channels, because we're going to compare this, the Valve Index, to the Rift S, to the Pimax 5K Plus, to the Quest. Oh, it's going to be, oh my goodness, this is going to be an amazing time.
And there is more coming. I cannot tell you much more right
tomorrow.
Now, but there is more coming.
Probably
this year is going to be freaking crazy. There's so much more happening. So yeah.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to
be exciting. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be very expensive, though. I think.
So, dear 400 people, if you have not yet given this a thumbs up, I mean, this stream deserves a thumbs up. What do you think, SweViver? So, give it a thumbs up right now. Give it a thumbs up right now, so more people can find the channel, our channels, and we're looking forward to see you guys in our next streams together or on our channels. And we love this stuff. Right, Martin, and I think you feel our passion. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and looking forward to see you in the next episode.
Cheers.